I don't know about you, but I love living in Greater Cincinnati. Now, I didn't grow up here, but it's been my adopted home for years, and I plan to be here for the foreseeable future. I mean, a close-knit community with all the amenities of a much bigger city. I think Cincinnati's on the verge of something big. Without fail, every friend that comes to visit from New York, Chicago, Columbus, or beyond comes away impressed. And how could they not? The arts, the parks, the sports, the skyline, the beer, you name it, we've got it. Well, almost. I've been fortunate enough to travel extensively in the United States and abroad. Some might even call me a city lover. From Melbourne to Manhattan, Seoul to Seattle, Paris to Buenos Aires, there's something special about these places. And one thing stands out above all: getting around. You may not know this about me, but I ride the bus almost every day and have for more than the last year. No, I'm not going to try to convince you to ride the bus, but there's something that I've learned that you need to know. Until our region becomes easier to get around, Greater Cincinnati will never reach its full potential as a city. Since most of you are probably drivers, I'll start there. Thanks to some of the worst bottlenecks in America, Cincinnatians spend upwards of 40 hours per year stuck in traffic. A full work week. And that's to say nothing of the condition of the roads, which can often resemble a game of dodge a pothole. Now, you mix in the uncertainty associated with the closures on Columbia Parkway, the maintenance that's coming up on the Western Hills Viaduct, and we've got quite the predicament on our hands. For bus riders like me, the gaps in our transit system are obvious. It's impossible or takes a really long time to get east-west across our city. For people who work second and third shift, they can't get to their jobs or from their jobs on the buses because they don't go there at those times. And buses don't have signal priority, so when they approach lights, the light doesn't change. This means slower routes and more idling. I could go on and on, really, but the fact of the matter is that Greater Cincinnati has evolved a lot in the last 40 years, but our bus system, it hasn't. It hasn't evolved because there hasn't been funding for it. And I know this because I've spent probably 15 hours in this building with Metro CEO Daryl Haley. Through my involvement with Cohere, I've been on the Metro Rider Advisory Board over the past year, and wow, has it been eye-opening. Despite the challenges they faced, I've been amazed with the enthusiasm, the resolve, and the rider-oriented approach that Mr. Haley has taken. And the best part is, the system is responding to him. This January, for the first time in years, ridership numbers actually increased. Whether it's driving or riding that pains you, the great news is that between now and March 17th, we Cincinnatians have the opportunity to choose something better for our region. When you step into the voting booth in the coming days, vote yes on Issue 7 to unlock Greater Cincinnati's potential. In short, it's a 0.8% increase in sales tax, which is expected to generate $130 million a year in revenue for Hamilton County. For the average resident, that's less than $15 a month. And the great news is that this sales tax should generate serious revenue from the millions of people who visit Greater Cincinnati every year. So what would we do with this $130 million? Well, for starters, about 30 million of it would go to sidewalk, road, and bridge projects, making life better for pedestrians and drivers all over the city. The other $100 million, well, that would result in more routes, faster routes, shorter wait times, and more overnight routes. Citizens from all walks of life would benefit as the new and improved metro system would reach 20,000 more jobs and 700 more companies than are currently reachable by the route map. Now, if you're a conservative, you should know that people like Dusty Rhodes and Bill Seitz have supported this, and if you're a Democrat, then you'll know that many of the representatives have supported it. And something that we can all support is the fact that no dollars from this initiative will go to the streetcar. Wouldn't you and your car love it if Hamilton County had better, smoother roads? Can you imagine how much less stressful your life would be if you didn't have to fight traffic every day and instead could read a book while the bus takes you to work? How much more equitable would our city be if more people had access to more jobs without the use of a car, especially those with disabilities, those in wheelchairs, the visually impaired, and those who work second and third shift? And what about the elderly and people who might not drive anymore? Shouldn't they have expanded access to get to the healthcare options that they need via transit? Isn't that just the right thing to do? In closing, if you love Greater Cincinnati like I do, if you believe that our region can be a world-class place to live, if you want to unlock Cincinnati's potential, then please, please join me in voting yes on Issue 7.